Said yesterday that Charlie and Cameron both trained yesterday and looked pretty good. Are you expecting them to both be available for this game?
Yeah, they did the full training session and the captain's run this morning. So yeah, no reason for. You say Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie and Cameron Rayner.
Cam Rayner won't play. No, he'll have another week off. He was actually. I said to our medical people, "Gee, he's moving pretty well," but. No, I think should look after him for another week and make sure, but he was way better than I thought he would be. I didn't think he was a chance at all. Then I thought, oh, he's pretty good.
Some of it's luck, but for the last 2 years the Lions have been sensational in terms of your medical staff and conditioning and the way you've been able to get guys up. For Charlie himself it looked like a really serious knee injury, and obviously you've had a bit of luck that it wasn't as serious, but for him to be right to go a week later is also really good news.
Yeah.
And it's fit the narrative of this team over the last 2 years.
Yeah, we're not pushing Charlie out there. He's genuinely fit to play, and our medical staff and our fitness staff have just done a brilliant job with preparing and looking after our players over the last few years. There's a little bit of luck involved, but there's a lot of hard work and planning and rehabilitation work that helps to make our guys strong, and touch wood, we don't get any of those injuries that you can't do much about, but they've done a great job.
Ryan Lester, is he fully recovered? Is he available this week?
Yeah, Ryan played last week in the reserves practice game and got through pretty well, so yes, he is available for selection.
So was he just out for balance last week or form, Chris, or did you want to see him?
Oh, no, we just thought other guys had played quite well and it was hard for him to push his way into the side, and we thought it was just good for him to have a game.
Noah Answorth, I guess, is one of those players. He's been really good since he's come in. He's a tough little player.
He is. He can take the best small opposition forward and make life really difficult for them. He's a hungry competitor. He scraps with the best of them, and he's definitely shown since he's come back into the side that he wants to stay in the side.
Who do you look to fill the gap of Richie not being there?
Ryan Lester's one of those guys. Mitch Hinge has been in good form in the twos. We'll sort of make that decision a little bit later on. I think we've got to put our team in this afternoon. So there's a few in the running. We've got some good players there that can come in and would look forward to doing a role.
Have you had trouble? You talked about your depth. Have you had troubles weighing up? Like a guy like Lester goes out, someone comes in and does a job. Are you trying to reward those guys that do the job and keep them in as much as possible?
Yeah, you can't put players out of the side that play well. It's as simple as that. So it's good to have competition for those spots. It's healthy.
North of sort of not the greatest of form at the moment. A lot of injuries. Does that make them harder to plan for?
Oh no, look, I think not really, because North always put their best foot forward when they played the Brisbane Lions. It wasn't until last year that we were able to actually get on top of them. I think it had been a long time between drinks playing against North, and even in the 2 games last year they were really close contests. I think it was a 20-point victory down in Melbourne, but it was like scores were level at 3/4 time, and it was similar up here last year. I think it was a 12-point margin. We had to, I think we were behind all day and just got up at the end. So they play a really strong contested brand. We've got every expectation that they're going to bounce back from last week. They've had 3 really good wins against good sides like Giants and St Kilda, and they beat Adelaide the other day. And they've had, I think, 4 or 5 games where they've lost by margins of 14 points or less. So they're a highly competitive team, and even with their injuries, they can hold their head up high with some of the games that they've played this year.
Have you been drumming that into your side? Because if not, it could be danger.
We always talk about our opposition. We always treat every opposition that we play with equal respect, and we always plan for the opposition to turn up with their absolute best performance. So that's no different this week.
See what happened last night. What can happen?
Yeah, I mean, there are those lessons every week in AFL football where the underdog gets up, and that's what makes it a great competition. I mean, you guys all paint a picture that one team's supposed to win and one team's supposed to lose, but us coaches, we always think it's 50-50, and it is in this competition because it's tough and it's hard and it's tight.
How do you feel your key forwards are going at the moment, both Eric?
I think they're going well. I mean, we don't necessarily measure them by how many goals they kick. We measure them by their pressure, by how many opportunities they create for others, by how many marks how many balls they're able to bring to ground for our smaller players, and on all those measures they've been faring really well.
I guess the follow-up question to that is a report that you guys would be keen on Joe Danaher potentially at the end of the season. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I saw that during the week. I don't know where these things come from, to be honest, and I'm the coach and I've had not much to do with list management. Our list manager's down in Melbourne. I guess we'll start to address those things when the season comes to an end, but from my perspective, I'm just coaching the team that we've got now, and I'll leave that work up to others, and I don't really comment on list management things unless I know some factual stuff, which I don't.
There seems to be a school of thought out there, Fags, that power forwards kicking goals. You look at Kennedy's and Lynch's and whatever. What do you like about Hippie's game and Dan McStay's game that they don't necessarily kick bags of goals? Whereas
no, they play their role for the team, and the truth is that is the talk out there, that's what you need. But the bottom line is, at the moment, we're the number one offence in the AFL with those two guys in the team who do a really good job every week, and they're only young fellas. They're going to get better. They're not late 20s, they're early 20s, and they've learnt the hard way over the last 2 or 3 years, and as I say, they play a really important role for us. They get the job done most weeks, and we're very happy with them.
Oscar has as well, still playing a bit forward. You persist with having a backup ruckman to allow him a bit of extra time in attack.
Yeah, I think you need a backup ruckman. You need a backup ruckman just in case your number one ruckman goes down, as much as anything, because that can really change a game in AFL footy. The ruckman have become very important. So yeah, but it's good to have that backup ruckman to allow Oscar to go forward, because he can be a threat down there.
We've seen in the past with Hippie, he can get a lot of confidence in a game, and he gets better as a couple of goals get kicked. Do you think the great performance last week can take some confidence into a totally different game, and we can see 2 or 3 really good games in a row from him?
Yeah, it never hurts to play well, but again, everybody's excited because he kicked 5 goals last week. I say he's played some better games this year where he kicked 1 goal. So the measures that we have on them are way different. But it's obviously always good if forwards can kick a few goals. It doesn't hurt their confidence, so there's nothing bad about it. But that's not the expectation this week.
Thanks. Just on the power forwards, are you bucking the trend? Are you changing it? Do you think the game's evolved where they don't play as big a role?
Well, I think we have got power forwards. I think McStay and Hipwood are power forwards, and we've got 2 of them, and you're pretty lucky if you've got 2. So
you're not relying on them, though.
No, but my theory on it's always been is that you need to rely on more than your key forwards to do your scoring for you, and I think we're top 3 or 4 teams for the number of goal kickers that we have in each game. Our midfielders get on the scoreboard. I think that's really important. I think the more diverse sources you have for scoring, the better. Harder you are to stop. Does that answer you?
Yeah, no, that's...
Sorry.
Just on Matt Eagles, how do you think he's gone since he's come in that backup role?
Yeah, well, he's only had the 1 game, so we were pretty happy with his ruck work last week. There was a couple of little areas that he could improve on, but that's understandable. The good thing that we like about him is he's really competitive. He's a real competitor, and that's important in a position where you've got to do lots and lots of one-on-one contests over and over again.
And how are Archie and Steph going in their recoveries?
Archie's back running this week, which is a good sign. Steph's a little slower with stress fractures. That's going to take a while, I think.
How far, and Marcus Adams, how far along's he?
Yeah, I don't know. He's had sort of similar types of problems. So our medical staff, as good as they are, can't give me a date.